I cannot wait to be with you this Sunday. Wow, right? What a 2 weeks it's been in the world. And there's so much that we need to talk about and to talk about deeply. What I specifically want to open up this Sunday is what we call unique risk. And I want to open it up for three reasons. One, because this is a moment of unique risk. What does unique risk mean? What's a risk? What's unique? What's my unique risk? What's my unique risk in this moment? What's the risk that's brave and filled with courage, core, COUR, that comes from my deepest heart? And what's my risk that's egoic and foolhardy and the wrong barricade, the wrong hill to die on? It's never good to die on the wrong hill, right? So what's my unique risk at this moment in my life, at this moment in time? What's the unique risk in the personal vector of my life? What's the collective unique risk? Now, there are two reasons that I also want to talk about this, and you can look at the links that will be coming to you. I don't know, I'm not good enough at the email stuff, but I believe it'll be with this recording. It will also be in the announcements of One Mountain, and you'll be hearing about this all this week and next week. There are two offerings that are complementary that are happening at the center. One we're doing with the Unique Self Institute, run by Dr. Claire Millionaire, and with Parallax, run by Tom and Andrew Sweeney, which is a European initiative, visionary group. And that will be every, I believe, 3 months. We're going to do a 3-week deep dive into the next unfolding of the answer to the question of who am I? Who are we? Who are you? Who are we? The question of identity. It's the single most important question in the world. I've had a book on my desk table for many years, and it's one of the readings that Yuval Harari and I share in common. I've talked about Yuval and critiqued him quite intensely. One of the books we share in common is a book by Charles Taylor called Sources of Self. And what Taylor understands is the answer to the question of self is everything. It's the who are you question. One of the most central initiatives of life, of Da Vinci and Ficino and the Renaissance, and of our engagement here in this new time between worlds and time between stories, is the deepest response to the question of who are you? Now, who are you is always mystery, right? And it's never merely material, but it's also not, it's not muddled. It's not mush, right? As the New Age and human potential movement and the varieties of psychology have made it to be. Actually, there is some clarity. There's deep uncertainty. There's deep mystery, but there's also destiny, and there's also direction. And so what I've, and again, most tenderly, dedicated an enormous part of my own personal life to, is to addressing this question. I first started talking about in my mid-20s, which is about 7-8 years ago. That was a joke. I first started talking about something I called then soul prints, your soul print, and what that means, and eventually published, a book and a PBS special. And my mom was happy about that, so I mentioned that for her because, oh, my son did something that her neighbors recognize, right? But think about soul prints, and then eventually we started talking about unique self, and then eventually created a literature around unique self of 5 or 6 books. A kind of a major book, a minor book, a third book, a fourth, right? And unique self is, and I'm going to be, again, tenderly audacious here, but I stand by it. It's the best understanding I think we have in reality today, but how to respond to the question of who are you? So that's a big deal. And Claire Millionaire stepped in to create the Unique Self Institute and to direct it. which is a sister organization to the think tank. And it's now time to up level, to make dramatic new steps in our understanding of unique self. We first published the book in 2011. Brett Thomas from Integral Publishers, right, created a great course, right, that he kind of facilitated and produced. And you can find both of those in the Unique Self Institute. But that was step one. Now we're going to step two. So we're going to literally be kind of at the leading edge. And I say the leading edge humbly but audaciously. We're really deep in this to actually step into the source code and evolve what it means, right? What unique self means in ways that are personally so dramatic. It makes such a difference in how we actually live our lives this week and next week and the week after. So I'm wildly excited about that. And for the next, God willing, we should be alive and well, next couple of years, I'm going to follow the model enacted by my dear friend Sally Kempton, which is, 3-week courses every 3 months. Every 3 months, we're going to do a 3-week course. So the first one starts on November 24th, and you can follow the link to get information for that. So that's one. In parallel to that, so we're only doing 2 offerings of this kind. In parallel to that, we just started, but you can still join. There's still like a little window to join. We started what we call a group Holy of Holies. And Holy of Holies is the name from the temple tradition, which describes kind of the private sessions that we do one-on-one of deep study. Often we do them over 10, 15, 20 years. They're deep study sessions, which are filled with, autonomy and integrity and depth and communion. And it's a kind of particular vector of just one-on-one study, because in the lineages, one-on-one study is very important. I won't mention the name, but one quite well-known person said to me, Mark, you're out of your mind. Don't you understand? You have to monetize this. So the worst thing to monetize in the world are one-on-one sessions. Everyone's told me that, that's complete idiocy over the last, 15 years, but they're the most important thing in the world. Right. And so we've been doing those. And then we realized that we actually need a kind of group Holy of Holies, which is not quite a lecture, not quite a class. We kind of look at a sacred text, and then we actually come together and deeply witness each other in order to become a unique self symphony, in order to become what the lineage of Solomon calls a holy band, a band of outrageous lovers, a band of what we call ontological activists for the sake of the whole. Right? To actually take responsibility for deep, profound activism in this time between worlds. So that group Holy of Holies, I'm doing once a month. I'm doing it together with 2 people who are, emergent lineage holders, Krista, Josepha, and Sabriji. I'm calling him Sabriji because I always mispronounce his last name, so I'll be totally embarrassed to do it right now. Right, so Sabriji, we just started the first one. You can join and listen to the first one, and I could not invite you more deeply to join. You can do both of these offerings. You can do one of them, but that's the edge of where we are. Then finally, and this is 3, I'm going to scream this one, okay? But just whatever you do, become part of One Mountain. And it's One Mountain is kind of the core. That's the mothership, right? One Mountain is what we do every single week. We've been doing it for, I'm sitting with Krista here. Krista, how many weeks have we been doing it for? Lots, right? Like 420 something, something like that, right? For a long time. So I'm just inviting you to kind of like, please, full heart and soul, join One Mountain. When you join a Presbyterian church, no matter what, you pay your dues because you realize you need the church. In the New Age, we don't do that. In the New Age, everything's about how I feel today and are my needs being met in the exact right moment at this exact right time. If not, I cancel my right. That's why the New Age is so unsuccessful, right? Because it's this kind of, Christopher Lasch wrote a book about the New Age called The Culture of Narcissism. It's a good book, right? Christopher Lasch, right? In other words, we got to step in and commit, right? And so I'm really asking for, right, unabashedly, but so tenderly, just commitment, step in, right? And minimally become part of One Mountain. So you'll have 3 links. Here's One Mountain. Here's how you join. Here's these 2 special things this year. One is the first Unique Self 3-week course, and the monthly Holy of Holies. Now, in the monthly Holy of Holies, and I do 1 week a month, and then Krista and Sabri lead an insanely beautiful and important practice session 1 week a month. Okay. So these are deep, deep offerings. Now, finally, if you want to get involved in actually engaging and working with us in the Great Library, so let us know, and we'll see if there's a place and if that works. That'd be fantastic, right? In the right way and in the real way. So there's an incredible group of people that are gathering. And we started the center. I started the center with Sally Kempton, and Ken Wilber was the key partner. Ken Wilber is the key partner, with Laura Galperin. Of course, the co-president was Zach Stein, right? And it's an incredible group of people, who've been holding this place over the years. And then there's and I won't start listing people, because if I list 1 or 2, I'll miss 7. But there's an incredible current leadership, right? Both board leadership and an executive leadership, which we'll be sharing in the coming weeks. We're actually going to put the leadership for the first time up on the website, right? And the board up on the website. We'll be doing that in coming weeks. And there's an incredible board leadership of just unimaginably great human beings. If I would list for you the board chairs over the years of the center, they're unbelievable. And there's a group of what I would call lineage holders, people who have been studying deeply and are themselves, powerfully beautiful, poignant, authentic, filled with integrity, men and women teachers. And so we're committed to it. We're in this, we're in this all the way, right? We realize that it's a time between worlds. We realize it's a time between stories. We know that we have to make a difference. We know that only a new story of value will actually change the vector of history. That's, if you've been with us the last few months, I've critiqued Yuval Harari quite fiercely. The one thing we agree on, well, that's an exaggeration. It's not the one, but the major thing we agree on is that what changes history is a news story, right? What we disagree on is, I'm saying it's a new story of value, and value is real in the cosmos. And Yuval's a postmodernist, and he says value is made up. And I'm right and he's wrong. So, but his insights are welcome, and we fiercely debate. So join us, right? Be with us. Be with us this coming Sunday, right? Be with us in these enterprises. And I mean, just welcome. And maybe last sentence, until you put up welcome signs yourself in the cosmos, right? Until you walk around with your hammer and nail and you put welcome signs in the cosmos, then you won't feel welcome in the cosmos. That's the structure of reality. So joining One Mountain, you're putting up a welcome sign. You're saying, I'm in. I'm not a spectator to all time and existence. I'm in, right? Joining the Unique Self course, 3 weeks, joining the group Holy of Holies. It's, I'm in. I'm putting up a welcome sign in the cosmos, right? I'm nailing it in welcome. And then I'm welcome. And then I'm home. And then everything emerges. Yay. So thank you crazy much for listening. And I can't wait to be with you. And just for me, if I can just say the last personal thing, it's the great honor and delight of my life to be with you. So that's just my personal moment. Thank you.